Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
Happy day, everybody. Thank you for choosing Swim Lessons, the podcast. My name is Dallas Hansen. We have a special treat today. Our guest is Dr. Melissa Spelchen, aka Spelch. I met Spelch through PSP Network. We worked a volleyball game together, and I really enjoyed her way of looking at life. And the way she looks at life is through a very positive glass, and she's just a very unique person, and she's launching this unique new job opportunity, and I highly suggest you check it out today. She's helping out with mental performance with student athletes, and her story, how she got to this point. She was first off a great volleyball player from Canada, made her way to Minot State, where she became a Hall of Famer for the Minot State Beavers volleyball program. Then went through a couple different things throughout her life, and now finds herself launching this new, and check it out today. It's called upyourperformance1.com. Mental strength, and it's a big thing for her. And I enjoyed listening to her stories. There's a lot of getting over trauma in this one, which I can appreciate, because I think today, in today's day and age, there's too many people that shy away from that. And talking to Spelch about what she personally went through, specifically with her family and how she got over that, I don't think many people could do that. You know, it takes a special person to get through what she got through. So I highly suggest listening to this and sharing it with people that might be going through similar trauma, because it's a very good lesson to learn in life. Before we get to Spelch, we got to talk about our sponsors that made today possible. PSP Network. It's game day. They've been promoting local student athletes for a very long time. We're gearing up for basketball season. We've got the Dakota Bowl coming up for football, and it's just been a fun time here with Holberg and the crew at PSP Network. Make sure you check out all their scheduled events on their website. That's psp.network. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at PSP Network. Give us a like, share. All those games you can watch for free on the YouTube channel. A lot of good stuff there. So appreciate PSP coming along for the ride here on Swim Lessons. Next up is Glasso Angus. Glasso Angus is a proud sponsor of Swim Lessons, the podcast. They're your premier source for registered Black Angus cattle since 1973. Glasso Angus cattle showcase dominance, durability, and docility, and they're built to thrive on the northern plains. Check them out online today. That's Glasso, Glasoe, Angus.com. And how about in the heart of the Bakken, you gotta eat at River's Edge Bar and Grill. They're known for offering the best happy hour in town, providing unbeatable deals in a lively atmosphere. Guests can also enjoy a variety of entertaining activities, including bingo, trivia, and the very popular Name That Tune. Come on down to River's Edge for great drinks, great food, and great fun. Appreciate those sponsors. Appreciate you listening at home. This was a fun one. It got a little intense, it got a little emotional, but that's always good. And I learned something from this, and I think you will too. Here is Dr. Melissa Spelchen. Thank you for doing this. I'm really looking forward to this. We've been talking about it for a while, so it's good to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I recently met you. I don't think we've known each other that long, but it was pretty special. Like almost immediately we had definitely on-air chemistry, and that's tough to find. So, and I'm guessing you probably haven't found it a whole lot with females in the broadcasting world. So, it's an honor to be here and hang out with you, Dallas, for sure.
Well, especially because I was nervous about a volleyball game, because I'd never I'd done one before me and you got together.
Okay.
And I was like, I know a little bit about volleyball, but Nick's like, just go do it, man. The more hats you can wear in the broadcasting world, the better. I'm like, okay, he's right. And actually, I kind of fell in love with it because it's fun, and I had the luck of doing some pretty good games. Were we Minot High, Minot North? I can't remember.
I think so.
I think so,
too.
We
were. Yeah.
Which ended up...
Which I had no idea you had never...
Yeah.
That was the second match, of which I've been to 1,000, right? 1,000 matches that I've either played in, watched, or broadcasted. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but it was cool to have somebody to like... One of my favorite things as a play-by-play guy is to just like kind of volleyball set. So I feel like I'm a setter if it's a volleyball game, and just let you kind of spike it down. And with you, it was so easy. Like I would have had 1,000 sets.
That's the chemistry I think that we had immediately. And I appreciate when you obviously set the ball to me. And as a setter, I understand how that works. Where, you take kind of a backseat role. You're the leader of
Mhm.
the team, but you take a backseat role because all of kind of the energy goes to the person that's going to attack and get the big kill. So thanks for allowing me to get the big kills.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I mean,
cool.
volleyball in the United States is big, but I feel like where you're from in Canada, like it's even bigger. Because I have a good friend named Brady Pruitt,
Oh,
and
cool.
he played high school volleyball in Manitoba, where he went to
Mhm.
school. Where it's like, okay, you got to pick basketball, football, track here. Volleyball is not really an option for men, but it's big in Canada.
Huge. And I haven't heard any discussions about them bringing it to North Dakota. Obviously, I think California has it in high school.
Okay.
I'm not sure of any other states, but I have my longest friend, her son just won 3A provincials. So last year, so not this past season, but last year in Esterhazy, Saskatchewan, which is and that's 3A. So in Saskatchewan, at least there's 5 classifications.
Mhm.
And it all depends, similar to what they've done here now, changing to 3, and everybody's freaking out, right?
Oh yeah.
Can I swear? on
Yes,
this
of
thing?
course.
Okay.
Yes, 1,000%. Yes, you can
Well,
do whatever.
now you just kind of open a big fucking
That's
can
I
of
like it.
worms
Let's go.
on that one. But everyone was freaking out about the classifications changing or adding one, and I've always been aware of 5, right?
Mhm.
And I love that. And it's due to size of school, right? So my friend's son won last year, and it was so special. So it just, like there's plenty of opportunities to play collegiate ball for guys. But I don't know why they haven't jumped on that here. I think, no pun intended, jumped either. But it's really fascinating to watch. I used to love to play with guys, mainly because 1, it's just such a quicker game. 2, there's not a whole lot of like emotion in it when you play with guys.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I love that. I mean, I probably played more like a man than I did a female in terms of the emotions of the game, because I just really just wanted to win
Right.
all the time. But yeah, would you be good? I don't know.
I
What do you
think I'd be
Like,
okay.
How are your hops right now?
They're not very good, but I mean, in high
And
school I was okay.
and I don't mean beer hops.
No.
I
Like,
mean like
I played
vertical.
I played football at Dickinson, so
Oh,
I
that's
was a wide
right.
receiver. So I mean, I was okay.
Yeah, you
but
could go up and get it like
yeah, we
Randy
could-
Moss kind of thing.
Yes,
or-
yeah.
Oh,
Come on, man. Yeah, you just got mossed. Where did you grow up in Canada?
So my hometown is Kenora, Saskatchewan.
Kenora.
Yeah, and I'm actually going there this Friday. My parents still live there. We still have a couple businesses. We still own a farm in the area.
Nice.
And yeah, it was a wonderful place to grow up, and hardworking family, and still hardworking. I mean, we still own an 8-room motel
Whoa. Just
that
8
my
rooms?
parents, yeah.
Is that kind of like a
and
bed
now
and breakfast?
there's 7.
Okay.
We had 6 because we had some problems with just putting a lot of shit in one room, and
Yeah.
then another room where my dad likes to just, get away from various, scenarios and just go hang out in room 3.
hmm
But yeah, we have a 7-room motel, and my dad's 91 and he's still doing
Whoa.
rooms. Yeah. And my mom's 73 and they still have this large property and the motel, and we have a beauty clinic that has apartments, and we have a farm, and we have all the things. But really, all of that just taught me work ethic, and so that carried on in my hometown with all the sports that I ended up playing.
How big is Kenora?
I always say about 2,500, and a lot of people over 50.
Yeah, that's like, I'm from
Right.
Crosby, and it's
Yeah,
more
near
around.
Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right south of Estevan.
Yeah.
But it's around like, I think it's 1,400. So I mean, I get exactly what you're saying. Like hardworking.
Mhm.
It's a fun town. I like going back to it because everybody waves at everybody. Like you're driving down the street, hey there, Dal, how you doing? Welcome back. Or you go to like the bar Joey's, and the first beer is like, you don't buy a beer, you maybe buy 1 round with, and it's just special. And I miss that.
Special.
You know,
Yeah.
I miss walking into a bar and everybody's like, what you been up to, man? Minot, you walk in and it's fun here, don't get me wrong, but I miss that little aspect of small town North Dakota.
Well, you're not that far. I mean, you
Yeah.
could pop up there if
Oh,
you
yeah.
want. You could do a once a month, just check in and
Yeah.
do an interview on air.
Yeah.
Just like live at the bar in Crosby.
I wanted to do that,
That'd
but
be kind of cool.
the bar owner won't do it with me.
Oh.
He's on
Outside the bar?
Yeah, maybe he's on oxygen,
Oxygen, yeah.
but he's like an all-time guy. His name's Chris Tissy,
Okay.
and he's
Shout
just
out to Chris.
Shout out
Is
Chris
that the
Tissy.
camera?
Yeah, that's your
Shout out
camera.
to Chris.
Yeah. Well, he
Thanks,
talks like
bud.
this. Thanks, there, guys. That's Van Family. Come, thanks, guys. It's the best. He's awesome. He's a diehard Packers fan. He's got Rough Rider stuff up in there. He's got a huge picture of a
cool.
Weston Dressler.
I'm guessing we're going to talk about the CFL
Yeah, let's hop right in that. I mean,
well, I don't know if you want to, or did we finish talking? Well, are we going to finish talking
Yeah, let's talk
anything?
about, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know, a small town.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And then, okay, but so you get involved in volleyball.
Yeah, and that was a fascinating kind of pivot. And actually, it's funny. I was in Vegas. I saw Alanis Morissette. And it was fucking great, like so phenomenal. And the people I was with, they said like you just have this ability to pivot my whole life. So I guess it started. I was a really good basketball player, at least in my head. I thought I was. Yeah. I have this memory, Dallas, and I hope you appreciate these memories. But so many practice hours, right, get put into sports. So many off court or outside of the gym hours put in. But I distinctly remember I was like 6th grade or 7th grade. And I get asked to come to a senior basketball practice. So that's grades 10 through 12.
Whoa.
And I'm asked.
The big time. Bright lights.
I mean, I don't know. I was.
Kenora WNBA bound here.
I was like 13 years old. And I probably, what am I, 5'6" and 3/4, always 5'8" in the program.
Boom.
I was probably 5'2".
Yeah.
I don't know, when I was 13. And I get asked to go to this senior basketball practice, and I'm asked to run a play. I'm a huge observer. Like, and obviously you've done a couple games with me. Like, I'm watching the things that maybe other people aren't. So I was watching what was going on. And I got a play, and I got the ball at the top of the 3-point line, and I fucking shot it and sunk it.
Really?
And I'll never forget that feeling. And the grade 12 girls looking at me like,
whoa.
And no jealousy, right? Because they're like small town. Everybody's got to play. Mm-hmm. And if you can find a good player, yay. Otherwise, there's a lot of role players that, otherwise maybe wouldn't play in a bigger city. Mm-hmm. So I remember that. But you got to play every sport. Otherwise, they don't field teams. I was playing volleyball in grade 7, 8, junior high school. And it was grade 8, I think, when a lady named Nancy Tamblin, so I got to give her a shout out. I don't know if she'll ever watch this. And I think she's still bopping around the circles in Yorkton, or at least Saskatchewan. She saw me play at a tournament in Yorkton, which is slightly bigger than Kenora.
Well, I know Yorkton.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Terriers. I mean, I used to be in the SJ.
Yep.
I played with the Minot Top Guns and Americans and all that stuff. And she told my volleyball coach that I needed to go to a provincial team camp.
So a step up, essentially.
Yeah, well, it would
like
be
a travel ball.
It wasn't club.
Okay.
So it wasn't what you're thinking. It was it'd be like all state.
Okay.
She gave me the invite and gave my name to the club coach. But, I was again in grade, I think at that point I would be in grade 9. Trying to remember. Probably grade 9, 1991. And yeah, I listened to her. And I went to that camp, and I don't think I had already committed to club volleyball. So I'd played high school. She had seen me play high school, junior high school, and wanted me to go to this provincial team camp. And I tell you what, that night was probably, the most impactful night of my life. Not only did I make that team, but that night was actually the night that completely changed my entire family's life. My sisters, who are twins, 7 years old, and my grandmother, 67, were hit by a car in front of my house.
Holy shit.
The very time I'm at this provincial team. They called it a tryout camp. It was like a initiation tryout camp, because they had to have these across the whole province to try to whittle down top 24 players in the province. But yeah, that night changed a lot of things for my family and for me. So yeah, I eventually made that camp, and I made that team, and I hope I made that team based off of merit and skill. I really think that eventually they would have figured out a way, if I wasn't capable enough, that they would have figured out a way to move me in a different direction. But I made that provincial team 2 years running, and that also changed my life. Yeah.
Holy shit. So
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if you read up
thanks
on
for
it.
sharing that. Yeah.
Way
Wow.
to hit you with, the serious stuff right away. Sport and just complete devastation kind of have intermingled in my life since I was young.
So did you get a call? Like, I'm sure there was it back in the day when you had to like reach out, not a cell phone, or what was going on back then? Because you obviously got the call, and then did you go back home, or what happened?
Well, so Kenora to Yorkton is 50 kilometers, so it's half an hour.
Okay.
What happened was my aunt and my uncle and their two sons came into the gym.
Oh.
And I'm on the floor. And this is an interesting story. Besides obviously just trauma, so much trauma. But they came in the gym, and I'm surprised to see them.
Yeah.
But I am already kind of starting to feel it. And a lot of my friends know that in very high intense and traumatic experiences, I'm kind of the person that can stay even keel and calm. And I think I maybe even learned it that first night.
Mm-hmm.
Because the coach comes over to me and is like, "Hey, your aunt and uncle are here. They need to take you home, but we haven't seen you. We've seen you set, but we haven't seen you hit at all." I said, "Okay, I'll hit a few balls." And almost, I think shock probably setting in already, because I knew that my sisters and my grandmother had left. They had left before I had left and got picked up for this camp. So I knew where they were, and I knew what they were doing and how they would have to come back and walk to our home. So I kind of was already inherently understanding what was taking place. And so I get thrown a few balls, Dallas, and I go up the first time to hit a ball, and I completely missed it.
Just because you were thinking about other stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is like, well, if I'm a coach and I see somebody completely whiff a ball, I'd be like,
it's over. Yeah.
I'm like, maybe not so much. And then, I hit two more balls and it was okay. But they could have also been in some shock too, because my guess is that my uncle and aunt had told them what exactly was going on. And, even though they hadn't said specifically what took place, I was already feeling it. And then, just walked over to my uncle and aunt, and they let me know. And it was pure traumatic chaos after that.
It's so funny how the human brain works like that. Because, excuse me. Thank you for sharing that, by the way.
Yeah.
But last week, my best friend, Trevor Tomte, I grew up with his dad, Kevin, and we were a very tight-knit group. Anyways, I kind of had an eerie feeling like Wednesday morning, that just kind of an eerie feeling. And then my other best friend, Tanner, texts me. He's like, "Hey, I just heard some really bad news. Have you heard?" And I'm like, "No." And then I just called my other best friend, Trevor. And I called him, and he picks up the phone, and he's like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Well, we just found my dad passed away." And I'm like, "Dude, what?" Mm-hmm. So it's kind of funny how the brain just adapts, and kind of you kind of go back to that tribal sense of what's going on, who's hurt, how is it hurting. Like, I don't know why I called him, but I called him, and his dad had passed away. So it's just like instinct or something to that nature. Yeah,
I believe in higher powers for sure.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And I believe in energies, and obviously you're connected with Trevor.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So once your other buddy texted you were like, "Well, I'm gonna talk to my other good friend." And I think it was just, it's a connection that you have with him that you needed to reach out, and there you were. So
how did you get over that?
Well, our family, I'll just say overall, like our family's doing quite well. And, on November 18th, it'll be, 34 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. 34 years since the accident. They passed away. My grandmother died instantly, so she was hit by the majority of the vehicle. My sister, who passed away, was hit by the right side of the vehicle and was kind of thrown into our ditch. The authorities say that she was 5 feet away from our approach, like 5 feet away from safety.
Yeah.
And just for the record, the driver of the vehicle didn't see them, and there was no maliciousness. There was some speed issues. And that was just because of the speed limit there. And we had actually made some attempts to change it earlier, because there were some accidents that happened on this major corner.
Wow.
And then she died later that night. She fought as hard as she could.
Mm-hmm.
And got to the hospital in Regina, and my parents were able to get there, and my brother was already there going to university, but just too much trauma on her little body. And
How old were your sisters at the time?
7.
7 years old.
7, yeah.
God damn, life is not fair. That is insane.
And then we had a miracle, right? We had my sister Carrie, who was hit by the left side of the vehicle, the side mirror of the vehicle. And she's a thriving, happy.
She made it.
She made it. Yeah.
Let's go.
And I mean, that's something that is so, I guess it's probably saved our entire family, that we were able to rally around her. And again, she's really a miracle, and she's done so well in her life. Helps run a business with her husband, has her own business, was a very talented athlete, exceptional musician, wonderful vocalist. I think, I sing quite a bit. I mean, she's got 20 times the voice I have. And then she's raising some amazing kids that are well-rounded, academic all-stars and great athletes. So, and my family has definitely gone through waves of grief, and something I want to talk to you about definitely is how sport can assist that.
Yeah, I was just going to say
can assist it, and then also the trappings that it can bring, especially if you're competitive and it's a pressure-filled kind of situation. But yeah, I'm really proud of my family, and we're doing as well as such a horrendous experience can bring. We're doing pretty well. My parents are still doing well health-wise, and my older brother is married and has 2 girls. My younger brother is married and has 2 girls, and my sister has a daughter who's playing some AAA hockey and stuff. We can talk about all those sports too, because it's fun to see the next generation, right?
Yeah.
And then she's got 2 twin boys. Again, a miracle. She
had twins.
So a miracle, because she had literally a 3% chance.
No shit.
She had a 3% chance of having twins, and she did. And they're all my nieces and nephews are spectacular. Those boys, because they're the only boys in the family, and they're just wonderful young men. They just turned 13. So
what an insane full circle moment for your sister.
Yeah,
after all that tragedy, and then to have twins herself.
Yeah, and doing well in her professional and personal life. Like, she's a miracle, and I'm, I love her, and I'm
what's her name?
More than blessed to, have her in my life. Carrie.
Shout out Carrie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's, man. But one thing I was going to say before you even mentioned the sport thing, do you think music helped your family get through that trauma too?
Well, music is a great healer.
Yes.
To be honest, it's probably the best healer. Whether you just listen to music. I mean, when you think about also sports, like sports is constantly surrounded by music. I distinctly remember the first sporting event I went to after the accident was a grade 9 basketball game in Yorkton at CJ Houston. And I don't even know if CJ Houston's still around. And it's just like, obviously so much is going on in my body, my brain, like it's, the throes of grief. Right. And it was Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit.
No kidding.
Like, with the lights out,
Dave Grohl,
it's less dangerous. Here we are now.
Entertain us.
Yeah, and honestly, it helped me there's that whole pivot. It helped me pivot from my grief that I was going through, and I was like, man, this band is kick ass, and we're in basketball warm up. So, music is a wonderful healer. Whether it's, or I've been blessed to use it in a way to perform. Which is helpful. And then also listen, like, most people do, use it in sports. And now I'm beyond blessed to have sound healing in my life. I'm lucky to have found a wonderful practitioner in Mia Farstead, who runs Elevate by Mia.
Okay.
In Minot. And so from music to sound, I don't know. It'd be hard pressed to find another form of healing that's greater for me in my life than music. And I know it's done quite a bit for my entire family.
Well, that's beautiful. Yeah. I love that. But to go back to, so when you try to process all this and you go back to even school, and then to go back to the volleyball game, which you kind of learned about this tragic news during a volleyball game, what was the effect like when you returned to the game?
Yeah, great. Thank you for like just responding in such a kind way, and you're asking such insightful questions. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
I took 2 weeks, and most people didn't. Most people I know that ever experienced trauma, even at my age, went back right into school. I took 2 weeks. I distinctly remember telling my parents, like, I'm not going back. And it's just, you're numb.
Mm-hmm.
You're numb. And, shout out to my really good friends. I had some friends that were really were there for me that night and have been there with me since then. And, one is definitely that friend that I said whose son, Noelle, is her name. And, whose son just won the 3A provincials last year. She's been with me kind of the whole time. So she kept a good eye on me in school, and I had teachers that were so supportive. And because, in a small community, if you think about Crosby and something like that happened, it impacted everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just our family. Granted, obviously that's, that was ground zero, but everybody from our schools to the hockey rink, where we were always there, to the gym, to church, to all the singing events that my family did. We were, almost like the Von Trapps or the Osmonds. The Spelchens were singing at a lot of things, and my sisters sang as well, right? We all sang, actually, and performed. So getting back into school, was just hard. You're numb. You're just going through the motions. You're just trying not to break down too much because, there's that whole, you don't want to put too much on someone else. But now in reflection, talking about it is really the greatest way to get the yuck out of your body. And sports just kept my mind off of it enough to allow that part to heal, essentially. And again, I went from playing, at that point I was playing then basketball, and then it ran into club volleyball because I was asked at that point to play Yorkton Club senior volleyball. So I was grade 9, and now I'm playing with grades 10 through 12 in Yorkton, and that was special. I had some special people on that team, and then was also playing provincial team. And that didn't get really, really going. You'd have camps every 2 months. But some of those coaches and some of those friends or some of those people on that team are still my friends today, and really helped with grief and yeah, I guess I was kind of fortunate to be able to be put in that, to meet new people and kind of, again, just be relationship building with new people, be playing a sport that I was really, really enjoying, to keep my trauma brain from just taking over and essentially devastating me. So, yeah, I've been blessed in that realm for sure.
When did you know, when did Minot State start calling and being like, hey, you're pretty good. You got some intangibles here. Was there ever a point in high school I think I could do this at the next level?
Thanks for that question. Garnet Park, I got to give him a shout out because he's been a huge, I always say he was probably my favorite educator in Kenora Composite School, but he was also the guy who picked me up for that camp that night.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he, drove me there with his son because his son was doing obviously the boys' side of that provincial team camp. But he was also our school counselor.
Oh, wow.
As in counselor, what are you going to do in the next part of your life?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I think Minot State came to our job fair or career fair or whatever. And I wasn't really, at the beginning of grade 12, I wasn't really giving it a whole lot of thought. But he's the one who approached me and said, Minot State's kind of interested. Because we didn't, those days, there wasn't a whole lot of super duper active recruiting in the mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't, now they have obviously videos and
social media,
and
everything.
all the stuff where coaches can look, just Google a name and they're going to find you. There was none of that. So, I think Mr. Park was the guy that probably visited initially with the Minot State career counselor and said, hey, like, we got this girl that plays volleyball pretty well. I think you should have a look. And I think I got some initial information. And then I have a sneaky suspicion I was probably watched while I played club that year. And yeah, I had a couple different offers, and I was just visiting with a girl that I've been helping out with mental performance coaching, and we gotta talk about that.
Very
Yeah,
interested
up
in
your
that.
perform for sure. Last night, because she's in the throes of trying to decide where to go to school, right?
Oh.
And I told her, I said, well, in my situation, I had an opportunity to play D1 far, far away, of which I know I probably wouldn't have started right away.
Where was that at?
That would have been in Hawaii.
Oh my God, you passed up Hawaii.
Yeah, and a lot of
You
people
want to be close to home.
and a lot of people, I remember a lot of people laughed at me about that. One, shame on them.
Yeah.
Two, I know if I would have gone there and been given any sort of opportunity, I would have proved myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it would have taken, but I would have proved myself. In those days too, in volleyball, there was no libero position. So I was way short as a setter. I probably would have shifted into some sort of defensive specialist at that time. And because I love defense. So I'm really proud of my defensive stats, almost more than my offensive stats. So I had that option, right? So the option of like, you go somewhere bigger, far, far away, and not play to start. And then there was an opportunity to go to Calgary, which that was much more attractive to me because I had tons of family there, loved Calgary as a city, still do. But there's a lot of politics that go into Canadian volleyball. Obviously, everyone kind of knows everyone. It's obviously a much more geographically vast country, but everyone knows everyone in the volleyball circles.
Mm-hmm.
But they also all rub shoulders and they have their favorites and all these things. So I would have gone there. I think I probably would have had the same amount of opportunity as Hawaii. And I would have to have proven myself. And I just knew there were just barriers that I don't think I could have broken through there. And then I had the opportunity with Minot State. And quite a bit of that had to do with the degree, the criminal justice degree, which we got to talk a little bit about academics as well. And I was like, okay, well, this is a fascinating degree. And I always was interested in forensic psychology and trying to figure out the minds of criminals and serial killers and loved all that crazy shit. And I thought, hey, I want to work for a big law enforcement agency and find the killers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was. So I was like, okay, well, that looks good. And then I went to a tour and tried out, and I wasn't feeling well that day. I had literally gotten sick actually that morning, and it wasn't anxiety. It was
actual sickness.
I had some bad strawberry shortcake. Is it the exact?
Yeah.
I didn't, wasn't feeling so hot.
Right.
But I played well. I'll never forget. I played well at that tryout. And before you know it, the initial scholarship offer from my perspective was low. So I demanded more. It was given to me. And I got to thank Coach Fiddler for that. And, kind of the rest is history. I had a pretty good career.
Yeah, because you're
at the university.
Yeah. How did the career at Minot State go?
I would have liked more wins. I think everyone would like to say that, except probably your alma mater and Dickinson State, because
they were good. They were good for a while.
They had literally they had players that would have played probably even USA national team. Never mind, they were from Turkey and they played Turkish national team. Neslihan Yilmaz was.
David Moody was the head coach at the time.
Moody, yeah. Dave and Kay.
Yeah,
they were. So I ran into that like big, huge freight train.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm proud of the hard work that we put in. And I really feel like, because I knew you'd ask this question, I felt like every year we were just missing a couple pieces.
Just a couple pieces away.
And it was just a product of life. Like the first year I played was probably my best. The bookends, the first and fourth year. The first year, not a whole lot of expectation on me. So I love that. I was coming in, I was going to rock everyone's world. And I did pretty well. We had Tracy Rams, and this is a special shout out to Tracy if she ends up listening to this, Gravelberg, Saskatchewan.
Ooh, shout out Gravelberg. What a great name.
Yeah, it was Gravelberg, Saskatchewan. Yeah. And she was a 2-year player. I can't remember where she played before, but she was a 2-year player. She's in the Hall of Fame. So that says a lot.
Yeah. What did she play?
At a 4-year institution, she's in the Hall of Fame playing 2 years.
That's pretty good.
Middle.
Okay.
But if we would have had then Julie Horst, who simply was sidelined because she was pregnant. So if we would have had her, that duo out of the middle, unstoppable we would have been. And we did get into the playoffs. I think we lost in the first round that first year. And that first year was I only missed one match my entire career. And it was that year because I rolled my ankle in a match.
No, ankles suck.
Yeah, my ankles are. We might have to talk about.
Yeah, mine are glass.
They're literally glass.
Well, pretty much. Like it's
you are
horrible.
wearing some pretty.
I know. Don't
nice
make fun
loafers.
of my loafers. I love these things. They're fun. I love them. Just slip them on and we're good to go.
My podiatrist is mad at me because I had a procedure today and I'm supposed to be wearing those same kind of shoes, but I was like, I'm gonna put on some
hell yeah
Adidas sneakers.
Hell yeah. So you're in the Hall of Fame too at Minot State, right?
Yeah, I am. That's thank you. Yeah, that's a blessing, and that's a testament to all of my teammates, my coaches, my family. I mean, because it does take a village to get to that kind of level. It really does. And there were so many things that my siblings had to sacrifice a little bit too, with me going,
stateside,
Kenora, Yorkton, provincial team, all these different things. And then in Minot, I had some excellent players I played with. Obviously mentioned Tracy and definitely from that first year, Tracy and Julie and Melissa Junt and Danelle Ortinsky, and lots of great players there, all the way up to you had Lynn Costed and Sarah Carlson and
just think if you would have
some good stuff.
If you could go back and you could tell your younger self the night when you're at this tournament, you hear this horrible news.
Yeah.
You could say, hey, you just got to get through this, because actually you're going to go into a 4-year school. You're going to have a hell of a career. And then you're going to develop a life in this city that you're going to go to college at. And hey, guess what? You're going to go in the Hall of Fame. All you have to do is keep going. And it's going to be tough, but you just have to keep going. And just think about that. Think about that.
Yeah, Dallas, that's a great message to give to kids.
Yeah.
Just keep going, one foot in front of the other. Be present. Enjoy the experience, even when you're dealing with so many tough things. And then always, I think the thing that I missed, and it's no fault to anyone, it was just a product of the times, was, I could have used some professional help. I was lucky to get, again, those teammates that I met that didn't know me at all, right? All they knew was just a little bit of my history and obviously this devastating thing. So those relationships that I built from ground, like nothing, to now they're some of my great friends and former teammates, like that helped me definitely process all the things that was happening to me. And especially like when, it's much different when you're living in the environment of my family and, the accident scene is literally on my front door, to then I can go and kind of slight escapism, which escapism is okay only if you're processing all the yuck too. And that's what I missed. I really, my story is so like just off the wall. And there are lots of athletes that deal with trauma, and I know that. So I'm not unique. But I know that if I would have had more professional help younger, I think things could have probably evolved for me differently. But I mean, again, I'm good in moments when things are really hard. I'm blessed that way. Now I don't wish to get in those kinds of moments.
Right.
And I have had professional help. I got it in my mid to late 30s and into my 40s. And again, now I'm dealing with a wonderful maintenance tool in sound healing. But I wish I would have had it younger. And that's definitely, not everybody needs professional help as it relates to serious competitive sports and even if you've had trauma, but they definitely need some mental well-being coping mechanisms that not enough kids have. And just a quick story before we get off this topic, and we can get back to it on Up Your Performance here. But like with that provincial team, there was a match in my second year, and so first year I was lucky enough to be the starting setter on the B team. So how they ran at Dallas was 24 athletes, top 6 for sure going on the A team.
Okay.
And then the other 18 are going to fill out the A team and the B team. I couldn't have been more thrilled to be the best setter on the B team. I was like, yeah, let's go. Well, the A team setter got hurt.
Oh.
So then the second string A team setter gets bumped into the first string, and I get bumped from the B to the A. Really glad that happened, because one of the best coaches I ever had was Ann Cote. God, she's in every Hall of Fame. There is in Saskatchewan, and we've recently reconnected. It's phenomenal. She's awesome, and taught me a lot. The second year, I was back to being the number 1 setter on the B team and loved it. And shout out to Crystal Torgenrud, also someone I keep in touch with. I mean, I haven't seen her lately, but it's phenomenal. And 2 different style coaches. Like 2 different style. We go to Western Canadians, and the B team has to play the A team of Saskatchewan. Whoa. Right? There's all, Alberta's there and Ontario's there. And I mean, it was BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. So those, and everyone had 2 teams. And we get smoked in that first game. Second game, we're getting smoked, and all of a sudden we come back. So now we're tied 1-1, and it's best of 3. So we're in the third game, and it was I remember it being a barn burner, but we lost. So my response was to go upstairs into the bathroom and punch the bathroom door. Yeah. And in fact, I still have, like, if you look, especially when it gets cold, like you can see what happened to me. And when I came out of there, my hand is now, we still have games to play, and my hand is like this. And my coach says, "What happened?" There's a hole in the wall upstairs. And that wasn't me. But now I'm realizing how I was processing some of the grief that was taking place with me, and how the loss of that game was a trigger for sure, without a doubt. Right. And that's like that example right there. And I'm not saying everyone punches, bathroom doors, because it kept going back and forth. Right. So come on, right, kill it, and then, I got pulled that next match because I couldn't play ball. Not everyone processes that way, but there is a lot of negative ways to deal with that kind of trauma. And that's what I was dealing with. And I wish I would have gotten more professional help younger.
How long after the accident was that bathroom incident?
It'd been my second year, so it'd probably be about a year and a half.
A year and a half later. Wow. That's insane.
I haven't talked about that in a while.
So I appreciate you sharing that, because that's like, because everybody heals differently, obviously, but like the trauma is still alive inside you. You might think like, oh yeah, it's there, but I can handle it. And then just like a trigger like that, like boom, heading upstairs to a bathroom and taking out the door.
The bathroom door.
I'm sure your coach deep down was like, damn, that's actually kind of impressive.
Oh, I'm sure, whatever. Again, she thought I had punched it. I would never and I would have owned if I punched the wall.
Right.
I knew that, the bathroom door would have a better chance at responding to me than sheetrock. I think I'd own some sheetrock.
Yeah.
But, and I'm glad we can laugh, because we can laugh about it. Now that's the glory of, like, eventually again in my 30s, I was just making some terrible decisions, and for sure drinking too much, and just all the different things that are unhealthy, like, and that can be stereotypical, I was doing to cover for the fact I hadn't faced such a major trauma as a young person. So I want to help, younger athletes if they're going through something like that, or you tack on the pressure of today's sporting world.
Yeah.
That's a lot to begin with. So
what's your view on multi-sport athletes? Because
I love them.
Me too. But it's
I love them. I'm sad that they can't play. They can't play that many sports in college anymore.
It sucks, but it's like it's dripping down to high school levels, because I know so many kids that are excellent basketball players, and basketball is kind of becoming not an eyesore, but it's becoming like this big thing that's starting to blow up, where, okay, you're going to play basketball all winter, basically from November to March. Okay, then you take off till May. Well, then May, we're going to get on this travel team. We're going to travel around the whole country. Your parents are going to invest $20,000 to $25,000 to go to Vegas, to go wherever. And then you're not going to play football. And then we're going to just work out. And then we're going to start. And so it's like a year-round thing. But for me, like I loved basketball and I was good at it. But I didn't until high school realize, I'm pretty good at football too. And football gave me a college education for free. And it's like, what are these kids missing out on? And I'm not sure if it's like I'm not sure if it's like a parent thing, or if it's just like the kids obviously are still developing. And I want to ask you that, because it's one of my biggest triggers in high school athletes today, because the basketball landscape is becoming this diluted thing where you just got to play basketball. You can't do track. Is a phenomenal thing to develop your body and make you a great athlete. Track is great. Football, volleyball, whatever. I don't mean any harm by this, but there's a couple great players at Minot High that don't play volleyball. And I'm just always thinking, why not? Why not? Why not give it a chance? You get to be with your teammates, with your friends. But I mean,
yeah, and different teammates, right?
Different teammates,
different friends,
different coaches,
all around,
all around.
If you look, I think you have to start at the perceived end, which is this incredible full ride scholarship at a D1 school and then professional. Mm-hmm. And we know the percentages that are slim, but it's going to get, this whole discussion is going to get tougher now that colleges are paying athletes.
NIL, yeah.
NIL, and then also paying athletes separate. NDSU has signed on, like the NCAA has said it's okay. And it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazier. For me, it just comes down to selfish coaches that are feeding parents that they have to commit to this one sport and that's it. And if you miss a practice, you're not playing.
Yeah.
Now, granted, some of that missing of practice, because there's so many people that now are paying, like everyone's paying pretty much the same. So if Lisa misses a couple practices of club basketball because she's going to run track, and then comes back and all of a sudden just automatically gets in the starting lineup, I'm sure that, Casey's thinking, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm paying.
Yeah.
I've been in the practices. How does she get to do that? My perspective is that it's selfish coaches, and coaches need to lay that groundwork from the beginning of saying, here's the deal. I'm allowing multi-sport athletes. When Lisa goes off and is going to go do something awesome in track, when she comes back, obviously we'll assess, but she's likely going to start over Casey because she fits that role better. Right?
That's a great way to put it.
I just think it's, and I'm trying to think how far back this goes. We had, at the university, we had Jen Dixon. Shout out to Jen, because she was an amazing two-sport athlete, but I really think that's, like, when she finished, that's kind of the end. And she was softball, volleyball, and, I had a couple years of softball, but she was way talented at both sports, way talented. But I feel like, and that was like mid-2000s, late 2000s, where that kind of ended. But I distinctly remember in college some of the coaches saying, well, they have to be done by this time to start playing basketball, right? Mm-hmm. Or we're getting into volleyball playoffs, and basketball has started, so they have to be there. I think it's all coaching style and selfish coaching.
Starts at the top, basically.
Oh, without a doubt, always does. I mean, the coaches set the tone. And as long as you're open and honest, and you're saying, we're allowing Lisa to go do this because she's talented at it. And she might get other opportunities and things. She's also talented at basketball. When she comes back, we'll assess. But if she fits the role better than Casey, we're going to go with that. The rub is always money. Mm-hmm. And that's that also, like when you said club basketball and you said mom and dad are spending 20 to 30,000. I mean, I remember sitting down with a friend of mine saying like, please don't say that to your kid.
Right.
Because that's a choice you're making for them, that you're spending this money to go. Right. But I know so many parents do that. And I just like to say to parents, like, try not to use those words of like, well, we're spending all this money, so you better.
Right.
Right. You as the parent should know if your kid is committed or not. And if they're not, then you say, okay, we're going to give it another month. Otherwise, for the whole family unit, it's not going to suit us. So, if you're really, really wanting this, and you show us, kind of thing.
Yeah, show up and
but
show
not,
up.
Well, we just spent $2,000 in Minneapolis at a tournament. You better perform and you better do that, right? Like, I mean,
adds to the pressure. The
for
pressure,
sure.
pressure.
The one thing about like my sporting life, and I got to give my parents a shout out on that. And again, they were dealing with serious grief. Like, my mother lost her mom and daughter in one night. Like tough stuff, just tough stuff. They weren't super duper involved in the things that I was doing. I remember I'd come home and my dad for a volleyball match was like, how many points did you score? I'm like, it doesn't quite work like that, Dad. But, go ahead, go to my brother's hockey practice and check that out. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky there because I really do think like, and again, starts with coaches, and coaches have to lay out the expectations. And I've talked to some great directors of clubs in this town who do lay those expectations for parents to, hey, like you have a role. And the role should be a supportive person for your kid to be the best version of themselves. And really, like, it's the coach's job to coach and the parent's job to be there to support and love them, which I really got from my mom and dad. So I give them credit. Only one great story with my mom, and I'm sure my friends remember it. Super intense volleyball match. Went three sets, and we're going into like 18, 19. And remember, this is back in the day of not rally. We're literally bouncing off bleachers. That's how intense this whole match was. We lose. I get in the car, and I got, it's me, my mom, and 3 other people in the back. And I'm complaining about teammates. And my mom she puts the car in park, and she looks at me and she goes, if you ever complain about your teammate again, you will never play. Got it? And I was like, got it. It was really the only time my mom ever addressed something that I did in sport. And how great was that, right? Like, Here's the deal. Like, if you're going to be on a team, you're going to be a great teammate. Don't you dare complain, because if you win as a team, you win as a team. You lose as a team, you lose as a team. One play didn't determine one play that I thought someone should have done something different. That doesn't determine the W.
Right.
Right. So I was lucky in that realm, Dallas. I don't know what I'd love to ask you. Like, how were your parents?
They were good.
When it came to your sporting events in terms of support and.
My dad was my basketball coach, 5th grade through 9th. So, I mean, he was involved heavily, and he was a great guy, but he's a farmer. So blue collar, hard work. My mom was more of like the artist, like creative and cool. Storytelling. And they were great, man. There was nothing to complain about, but like my senior year, my best friend, Justin Howland, passed away. So I relate,
trauma as well.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I think, but that's like I was telling you earlier about my other best friend, Trevor and Tanner. I think that's why we're so tight, is because we went through something seniors in high school of who was Justin, the kid who passed away. Phenomenal basketball player, like one of the best in the state. And just one day in our senior year, just falls over and passes away. Had a crazy. I'm not going to disclose what happened to him because I respect his family, but it was a very freak deal and just a rare medical condition. And it's like, it's hard to move on from. But 3 years ago, actually 2 years after he passed away, I was really struggling with it, and I was at Dickinson. And I'm like, I just want to get my friends together and play basketball. So we created this thing called the Justin Howland Memorial Basketball Tournament. And it was to create scholarships in his memory. And then we'd give it to a basketball player who was a senior. Well, now we're 12 years into it, and we're still doing it. And 3 years ago, we created a documentary, me and my filmmaker, producer buddy, Nick Tantillo. And when that aired, Spelch,
how'd you feel, man?
Closure. When that aired, it's like, okay, he might have died, but his memory will remain forever. In that video, in that 45-minute documentary. And that was like the end of that chapter. Like, I still love him. I still remember him. But when we made that film, and just the amount of closure was, it was 12 years later and it was still bugging me, but it was like, boom, it's kind of done now, Dallas. You can move on. And I was like, that's a good feeling. So, I mean, it's just like you said, when you're punching the bathroom door, there was many moments where I had probably
Anger.
not this, but like, just like pissed off that he wasn't here. And why take the kid who's the smartest, best athlete? Why not take me? Why not take somebody else? Why take the kid with the most hope from this small community? And so there was that pissed off thing. And then a lot of different other like shit would happen, but it still makes me happy to know today that when a kid who has no idea who Justin Haugland is will get a scholarship for $500 to help them buy books, whatever they want to do with it. Be like, oh, Justin Haugland, this is awesome. Cool. Boom. He's still around in that way. So
he'll always be around because you're keeping his memory that way. And God bless Justin. And I'm sure his family, and sending lots of love and thoughts to them. Grief happens in waves and all the stuff, but I know what you're doing is definitely assisting them in their path of healing. And that's really super cool. And when's the tournament held? Like, when is
first
that
weekend of April? Always. Okay,
cool.
So I think this year we'll go second.
Either come support or I'd love to do the anthems for you. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be bad. Estevan brings a team every year. They're the flamethrowers. They're the Estevan flamethrowers. I'm not shitting you.
Surprised. We're throwing flames.
And what's cool about it, Spelch, is
the Canadian anthem will happen too. Obviously.
Yes, we have to. But like, Justice Grimsrud is one of the kids on the team, on the Estevan flamethrowers, and we're like great friends now. So anytime I'm back in Crosby, like, I'll cruise up to Estevan, have a few beers with him at Boston Pizza, whatever. I even went to his wedding. Like, we're just such great friends, all because of this basketball tournament.
In honor of your good friend.
And I've created so many friends.
Died too early.
Yes.
For sure.
And it's like the crazy, just like you, for full circle moments all throughout.
Yeah. And I think we're lucky there. And that has a lot to do with like our choices that we've made in our lives, to include to honor, and the support system that we have.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, like you said, your other friends have really stepped up for you, and you've stepped up for them. I definitely have them, like, I've said Noel and even, friends here, like, shout out to my good friend Case, who has been really there for me the last probably 5 years. It's with a lot of different ebbs and flows of life. And yeah, it's, like, I don't wish what has happened to us to anyone. I don't. And when this kind of trauma happens, I always used to feel it would take me down, because I'm like, oh God, why does this happen to others? Like, why, right? And now I kind of try to just be there for the person and share my experience and check in more regularly, because again, you never ever forget. And the path of healing can be soft at times, and then it can be the rockiest thing that you've ever seen. And so having, people to check in on others, I think is really great. And I give you a lot of credit. And again, God bless Justin.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. I want to talk, because I want to talk about this mental. Tell me about your basically your job, the mental coaching stuff.
Sure.
Very interested in this.
I'd love to start with like what my main job is now, because there's been so much with the Central Regional Education Association and the leadership there that has supported me in some really, really tough times, and now allows me, primarily, Luke Schaefer and Lindsay Engstrom and Brant Dick. I just so blessed that they have let me cut me loose to essentially bring initiatives to statewide PK through 12 school buildings to try to keep kids out of the juvenile justice system, and or if they're in the system, try to help them with reentry. So been lucky to bring some artists into schools, which has been great. Today I had a great piano artist that is originally from Thompson, North Dakota, lives in LA, and brought him to North Shore Plaza.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was phenomenal today. So I have a little bit of that. I push some, like, we have some large grants that try to reduce infraction suspensions referrals, right? All those little things that, as they add up, they get closer and closer to more formal involvement in the juvenile justice system, trying to reduce that. one of my proudest things is bringing artists into the YCC, the Youth Correctional Center. And I got to give a shout out to Michelle Pfaff, because she, at the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, she's been amazing to work with. And without her leadership and kind of saying, hey, we need to try these things with amazing artists, Joe Davis and Fred Edwards, we wouldn't have had our 8th residency at the YCC in just 2.5 years, almost probably 45 days of artists at that place. Whoa. To allow these kids the ability to feel, remove some yuck, perform. Great stuff. And different types of presentations that I can do to various schools, and some anonymous reporting and some various other grant-driven things with other agencies across the country. But that's my, main job with the Central Regional Education Association, Healthy Youth and Community Social Service Specialist. Long title.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's great. Like I always thought, and especially coming to the US, the criminal justice degree was very like punitive. Like I was going to go into a work that was going to be punitive. Mm-hmm. And now I'm doing preventive work. That's pretty special to say. And especially working with kids. But in 2021, there was, pretty sure it was 5 female Division I student athletes that died by suicide.
Whoa.
And I had ideas of starting an LLC, but that was kind of the pivotal moment for me of saying, like, what's going on? So many people, and including me as someone who was a former student athlete.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can I pause you one second?
Sure.
I want to check on this camera. I want to make sure it's good.
Cool.
We're at already an hour, so I want to make sure this camera's good.
I told you, we're going for the record, buddy.
I love it.
Let's go into 3 a.m. if we can. Let's do it.
I got to check this camera. Be right back. We were just talking about your job and kind of what it entails. Go ahead.
Yeah, it just, thanks again to CREA and the administrators. And so they just kind of cut me loose to do the things I just said. And then also I feel one of my better characteristics is the ability to relationship build. So I just go out there and meet artists or visit with, leaders of agencies that are either I'm providing a service to or they're providing the service, and just develop a solid relationship. I mean, an education relationship is really key to definitely impacting the most kids. Mm-hmm. I just flat out think that. And that's including adult to adult relationship with then helping the kid. So I've been lucky there, but in 2021, when these athletes died by suicide, I was just so sad. And I knew I wanted to start an LLC, Dallas, and I wanted to kind of combine all the different things that I've been lucky to do, to include broadcasting, the singing that I do, coordinating of various musical events. And I was like, well, here's my chance to try to get into, whether it's schools or clubs or whatever, and help, young athletes with, the pressures that sport is bringing. Cause I really thought that those wonderful women that died by suicide just didn't have enough coping mechanisms when faced with adversity. And definitely like mental health is something significant as it relates to getting to the point of a suicide attempt or a suicide completion, for sure. But I also think if you can get more and more coping mechanisms young, you can either assist with lowering significant mental health problems, or a realization early that you might need more significant mental health help. And it's okay to do that, especially if you have a diagnosis, right? So like I've been blessed in my life to have professional help and never have a diagnosis. So I don't have a mental health diagnosis. I definitely know I have had trauma of a significant level. I definitely know that I have had issues with drinking and as a coping That was my coping mechanism, right? And I was
I've been there, sister.
I've been damn good at it, Dallas.
Yeah, me
oh my
too.
gosh. And shout out to my therapist, Cheryl. I hope she gets a chance to listen. But one of the most funny stories we have is at a moment in my therapy, she was trying to schedule me. And when you do EMDR therapy, you cannot, drink a day before or a day after. And I couldn't figure out a schedule. Yeah. So what does that say? Yeah. And we laughed about it. I can see her and she goes, "Are you seriously scheduling me around your drinking?" And I said, "Yes."
You were honest with her. Yeah. Yeah.
And now complete control of drinking. And like, I would always put my healing ahead of any sort of negative coping mechanism like that. And I'm definitely not saying that happens, but addiction is real. And it's definitely exacerbates when you have a diagnosis or if you've had trauma and you haven't faced that trauma, right? Like, 'cause it's the best thing to fucking Band-Aid your pain.
1,000%.
Right. And then the next day when you start feeling the pain again from the trauma, you're, oh, fuck, well, then I'll have another drink.
Yeah.
And then before you know it,
snowball. You're screwed.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. So, and especially honestly in, small towns, right? Like drinking can be an issue. And I feel like looking back in Kenora, like we did a really, really great job of allowing for some of that to take place, but also making sure that it was reined in and our friend groups always had a DD and always had smart, decisions as those things were happening. Everyone was essentially safe. And, it just, when I got into my 30s and the trauma was really coming out in terrible ways, the best Band-Aid for me was booze. So, for these young, wonderful, super talented women who, whatever adversity they were facing, whether it was mental health, whether it was just something with the schooling, whether it was something with their playing, with whatever, they just didn't have enough coping mechanisms from young to be able to face those adversities. And so I thought, well, I do not have licensure in that field of psychiatry, psychology, social work, whatever. But what I do have is experience. Mm-hmm. I have a PhD in criminal justice. I've gone through that big rigmarole of getting that education, but it's for me, it's experience. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to try to help kids. And I've done some client individual mental performance coaching, provided some training at golf camps, and actually some groups that I never ever thought. I have a friend, Carrie Dunn. She's been a godsend for me out of Dickinson. She runs All In Development Company. She does a lot of training with larger businesses and organizations. She's brought me in to do some mental performance coaching with groups like law enforcement, which I never, criminal justice. Yeah. I can relate. And I have, my lots of family are either active cops or civilian in the RCMP. So I've been able to help so many different styles of people, but definitely right now my heart is trying to help as many young athletes as again, the pressures and the scholarship money is going to start coming, and then the payments and the NILs it's just going to get larger and larger. And it's been so rewarding, right? So rewarding so that, they have, meditations and reset words and journaling and visualization and simple just breathing. You can breath work can really help someone come down or stay calm or in that peak, performance that you need to be in competition or in practice or whatever. So yeah, I'm lucky to be out there and spreading the good word of that.
How can people find you? Because I want to help plug this.
Yeah, upyourperformance1.com.
Okay.
Is where I'm at. And that's all one word, upyourperformance1.com, or you have my number. And if people find you,
I will
they can find me. I'm not on social media at all. There's a reason for that. I understand some of the positives that come with social media. if you haven't noticed lately, there's been a wave of reducing the amount of phone usage. I love that.
In schools, yeah.
Because of social media and all that different things. I just believe much more in one-on-one communication, face-to-face.
Yeah.
The best I can. I think that social media and the likes and the validation that comes from exterior sources via the social media has really decimated some of our kids' mental well-being.
Yeah. How about the art of the conversation? That's gone too.
Yeah.
Like we've done this conversation without any phones. I guarantee some kid, I mean, they're always on their phones. I know, and I'm guilty of this too, but I've adopted this little thing that I like to do. And it's just post and ghost. So I post quite a bit on Facebook just because I'm trying to promote the podcast.
Yeah, and I get that.
And like telling which games I'm broadcasting and all this other stuff. But post and ghost, because for a while there, Spelch, it was getting kind of dicey because Facebook's like, hey, you're monetized now. We'll pay you per whatever. So if you get like over 100 likes.
Dopamine.
Yes. Oh yeah. $10 per 100 likes. Yeah. It's like, oh God.
I was just in Vegas. Don't worry. I saw a shit ton of people
Vegas
just getting fake fucking validation. Yeah.
But it's a slippery, you're like in this river and you're trying to get out of the river, but it's just drowning you, and you like the water and you want to stay in the river, but you got to get out. You got to get out because it's dangerous. I'm not saying social media is bad, but I'm saying it's okay in certain amount of doses. You know, if you're trying to promote like I am, okay, yeah, that's fine. But don't be on TikTok for fucking 3 hours. Like that's the worst thing
what
for
they
you.
Call doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling or whatever. But
yeah, you're great about the art of the conversation. Like I'm looking at your notes. You basically have 10 words written down.
Oh, they're just because
I think my name is 2.
Yeah, 3.
Actually 3 because you have Melissa Spelchen Spelch.
But that's the way I like to do it. Just little guidelines, little guardrails. Because I love the art of the conversation. I feel like it's a lost thing nowadays.
Yeah, we don't struggle there.
No.
And I can tell you, like, I've never owned a social media account.
No shit.
And you wouldn't believe how many people have tried.
Really?
Have tried. Like, and especially as I started Up Your Performance.
Yeah.
Because like, well, how are you gonna get your word out? I go, by mouth.
Yeah.
By me just, again, I believe in energy, positive energy. So I'm just going to throw it out into the universe. And, again, I don't have a problem with talking. So anywhere I go, if it's the right space, I'm promoting. I've learned a lot with therapy. And again, sound healing's really helped me. Like, don't forcing anything is never good.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe a lot of that social media stuff is really just forced stuff down my visuals into my nervous system. And that doesn't work. I want it organically to come. And literally, like my first client, and I saw her last night and her parents, I simply was walking to a baseball game 3 years ago and just brought up what I thought about doing and was just in the initial stages and said, like, to this dad, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start doing this, and heard your kid's pretty talented. And if she ever needs some help, and that was it.
That's awesome.
Like yeah, I mean, I can say this here very confidently. I will never be on social media. I just don't, it's just not how I choose to operate. And I really believe that the things will happen as they should, via word of mouth. And I have a website and
you like destiny. Your destiny.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about the accident that changed my family's life of before, our lives are before accident, after accident. I mean, destiny is definitely something that's in our heads a lot. Like, cause we really thought we had one form of destiny and then that changed it for us. And now things are just much more positive, with our family and this idea that like things organically, like the healing for us organically has taken place. Like even, all my siblings and all of our different roads, like, everyone's gotten help in their own unique ways. Right. And we've all been pretty self-identifying of when we need it. That's pretty cool.
That's the
versus
big part.
versus forcing and saying like, you need help.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, you need this, right? And I definitely, as a human, have touted my therapy often because I want people to know that like it's phenomenal. It's a lot of work. You know, you definitely have to be vulnerable for the yuck to be removed from your body. But I tell you what, the reward is greater than any win in any sport that I've ever gotten.
Oh, that's awesome.
It really has been.
There's it's so funny you say the no social media thing because there's a country music singer from Saskatchewan that I love.
Who's that? Because I'm going to see a couple this weekend.
He sings Kate McCannon. You just murdered Kate McCannon. What's his name?
Send me that.
Hold on, I'll look it up really quick. Kate McCannon. Coulter Wall. Have you heard of Coulter Wall?
No, but I have.
Oh my God, you got to listen to
Shout
Coulter
out to
Wall.
my friend Gay. Her husband has mentioned this guy.
He's the best.
Think before.
He's phenomenal. Like
Jeff, so.
he's got this really old school country deep voice, and I listen to him religiously. But he doesn't like post on social media. And Joe Rogan, the biggest podcast in the world,
yep,
has reached out to him like 15.
Fear or no fear? What
Fear,
did he do?
Fear Factor. Yeah, he's always on Fear Factor.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
But Coulter Wall, Joe Rogan loves him, and he reaches out to him all the time. Hey, come on the podcast. We'd love to help you promote. Nope, I'm good. I'm just gonna whatever happens.
Yeah, destiny, or just organically let things go.
Yeah. Well,
don't force. As soon as you force, I swear to. Well, I mean, there's definitely something in therapeutic circles, right? The more you force, you're met with resistance, right? And usually that resistance isn't great.
It's usually bad.
It's usually not good. So, I give credit to your guy here.
Well, and then
can you give me a little tune can you sing me a little something?
Yeah. Well, I don't.
And get down in that low. Is he down in the low?
I can't even replicate it. It's so good. But like when you were talking about the no social media thing, I was thinking about somebody told me this the other day. They're like, Dallas, there's a guy sitting by a waterfall right now that doesn't know how pissed off he should be about social media. And it's so true. It's so true. Because if you didn't have it, you wouldn't know about half this shit that's going on. And I get mad like when I was on it a lot. Now I'm literally on it probably 10 minutes a day, if that. But I would see all these people that have their political bias and they would try to be, you okay? I was like, oh, damn, she might have went down. There goes Spelch.
Oh, and again, I told you earlier.
The trauma of the
only
mic.
A couple times my guitar cord was underneath and drilled myself in the face. No, I was just trying to get a little more comfy. But please,
like the political bias that certain amount of people have, and I don't even give a shit what you are, whatever.
Yeah, has skyrocketed.
Yeah,
due to social
it's
media.
insane, and it's back to this tribal way of thinking where it's like you're not right, I'm right, and the grass isn't green, it's purple, and if you think it's purple, it should be. It's just this crazy. You keep circling around, and I interviewed a guy yesterday, Jay Paterno. His dad was one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's like, Dallas, when I look at social media, you don't get in a pissy match with a skunk. And I'm like, that's great. Because he's like, you're never going to win. You can argue with people on social media all you want. You're never going to win. And if you do win, how do you know you won? And it's so true. So you're the first person in my life I've met that has never had social media. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out Spelch.
Yeah, let's go.
Shout out Spelch. Well, I really hope this new venture takes off for you. And I'm going to tell a lot of my friends about this because this is big. It's a missing piece in high school athletics or anything.
Yeah. And again, it's not, you need to know it's not professional therapeutic services. It's me with my experience of education, sports, music, all the things, family, all the stuff, to provide mental well-being coping mechanisms for kids.
Beautiful.
Youth. And again, I've done adults, but my heart is with helping student athletes, as young as I can. Again, cope with the trials and tribulations and pressures that sport brings. I really feel overall we've just lost the joy of playing, and I don't remember the joy as much as I remember how competitive I was. And I wish I would remember more of the joy. Like even recently, I got due to playing badminton.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Have you ever played pickleball? That's one of my favorites.
So that's where I'm going.
Nice. Okay.
So I played some serious pickleball in this town for the last 2 years. And recently I was really, really fortunate. I won a tournament, so I'm not complaining at all. I won a tournament not practicing at all, for the most part.
She's a baller.
Met my partner that I won with the day before.
Whoa.
We never played together. And I won. We won. Shout out to Lindsay and shout out to my good friend Brazilda, who is an incredible pickleball player. And she keeps trying to get me involved. But I just recently talked to her. I didn't have joy in playing. And I did formally address my competitiveness in therapy a couple years ago. And she warned me. She's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I go,
"What did
yes."
she say about competitiveness?
I mean, like literally, Dallas, I was wackadoodle. If you ever interviewed any of my siblings, like they were like
she's nuts.
Pool.
Yeah.
Darts.
She's going all in.
Just a friendly, slow pitch family
beer
game.
pong, whatever.
I was, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm winning. And I wanted to let go of that. So I wish I remembered more joy. I think, you think about that 3-point. I'm glad how this all comes around. That's why we're going to go for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like that 3-pointer I hit in basketball in grade 7 in a practice in front of people. Like I remember that being joyful. And I know everything post-accident was like, it was probably that joy kind of got removed just because of that trauma. And not facing that yuck led me to this just wackadoodle competitive person. So when I told my therapist, I want to face that, I didn't quite believe her. I was like, well, I mean, I'm still going to want to get out there and go. No, she was right. So I think I'm kind of done with the whole pickleball thing too.
You're going to retire a champ.
Yeah, intense is a calm word to explain me when I'm
in a competitive environment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't care for that feeling.
Yeah.
Anymore. And I want others who are practicing, who are practicing and actually, putting in the time and then competing. I want them to have moments. I've been blessed. I've had my moments, and now I'd like to just help others who might be in the same situation as me, not having as much joy. And so, I think Dallas, if you ask me to play some mixed,
we'll play a little pickle.
Let's
get some.
Are you good? I
like playing. I like playing. It's fun. It's fun to get out. I like moving.
Are you a righty or a lefty?
Righty.
Okay.
Righty for sure.
Okay. Are you a banger, or are you a little more finesse?
I would say probably a little finesse, like to pick the angles. But
you spin?
Yeah, oh yeah, big spinner. But I saw, this is kind of fucked up, but I saw these old guys playing, because I like to go to the Y in the morning, just right away. And
kind of easy on old, because I probably know who they are.
No, they were like
experienced.
Yeah, no, they were. I'm pretty sure one guy left in a walker, but they were like just kind of sitting there. But in high school, I was introduced to the game of pickleball, and I absolutely loved it. Like, we played all the time. Not the same rules, like we had our own rules. It was basically like whoever can beat the shit out of the ball the hardest would win. But
banger.
Yeah.
They call him a banger.
Yeah. But like to see these guys play, I'm like, I miss pickleball. So like to go down there and see what they're up to, and they're like, yeah, you can hop in. So we weren't moving very fast, but it was still a lot of fun. And they only play one day a week. But like, I would love to do that. We should get a PSP group going. But I know you said non-competitive, and I know.
Well, right. I'm going to have some fun. But I mean, again.
No tournaments.
Well, and that's what I told Brazil when I told her I'm done competing. She goes, well, then just come out and have fun. I go, well, yeah, but I also have to come and just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if I can just do that. That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
But that's, and again, I'm not, I don't want to like take away from people who haven't like had the career that I have had, right? And now really want to enjoy this part of their life. I don't want to take it away from that. I just know how I feel, and can I go and just play for fun? I don't know.
I don't know if you could.
I don't know either. But yeah, just to talk about the the experienced players. I played in Palm Springs 2 years ago, and I got on with the pro. Like there's places that have pros. And they told me that their best player is 81 years old.
Whoa. Good for that person.
And that the 20-year-olds that are bangers just fucking lose their shit.
They can't get over it.
Because an 81-year-old is kicking their ass. Because, well, I mean, it really is a game about smarts.
Mm-hmm. Angles, everything.
Yeah, and then assess. I mean, it's great because you assess the people you're playing, and it's pretty fast, right? So like you have to assess pretty quickly. Otherwise, before you know it, you've lost the 11-point game or the 15 if it gets to
if it
the
gets
playoffs.
that far.
Yeah.
I gotta say one of the
I
best.
didn't think we'd talk about pickleball.
No. One of the best text back I ever got was from you. Because I was gearing up to go to a Minot North volleyball game, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if Spelch is going to be with me. And so I text you, and you're like, Dal, I'm actually in Italy, and I'm out in the ocean. I'll see you when I see you. Ciao. I'm like, okay, she's not going to be here tonight. Good to know. And then you sent that picture you floated. I'm like, that is so awesome. How was Italy?
Oh my gosh, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
It was exceptional. They have a slower pace of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely learned something from that. And really in the last few years, I've really slowed down my life. I remember at my 40th birthday, a friend of mine had written a letter. A friend of mine at the time had written a letter and said, like, if you look at her phone, like there's not a date that doesn't have dots, right? Something always going on. So I've really made a conscious effort to slow down my life and have more time at home or quiet and just calm my brain and be with myself and all that different stuff, right? Like one of the greatest challenges for anyone is, can you sit with your thoughts and be calm? And so I've done that. But Italy, like I was calm the whole time.
I know.
You know, it's a special place to like enjoy, whether it's water of the Amalfi Coast or the incredible trees of Tuscany, or I mean, I was at the Vatican. That's obviously special for someone who's a Ukrainian Catholic. I mean, it's like all the things that I ever learned in catechism and at my church in Kenora, Saskatchewan, St. Peter and Paul's Ukrainian Catholic Church. To go there and it all is kind of tied together. That was really cool.
Yeah.
The food is outrageous. And I got to give a shout out to my cousin Carly, she was my primary traveler. Her sister Kristen was with, and Kristen's boyfriend Marcus, the first couple of days, which was super cool. But Carly did a lot of the planning because she's on social media, right? Mm-hmm. So there's your positive of social media, and she checks out like all the ratings and stuff. But I spent my birthday in Rome, and we had an incredible, 10-plate meal at L'Antidoto.
Wow.
But just an exceptional experience, and one server, right? 30 people, there are 30 chairs in that place, playing records, watching a 32-year-old chef just kick ass in the kitchen. But everything was slow, right? One dish comes out, and then the next dish comes out 30 minutes later, and then the next dish, right? And you're there for 4 hours, and yay. And no one's looking at their phone. Mm-hmm. I mean, we didn't look. I mean, I think we looked at our phones to take pictures of the food. So yeah, Italy was great. You got to go. You got to take your family.
Yeah.
And I've been on a traveling tear. Alanis
Morissette live must have been
phenomenal. The healing I've been experiencing lately has just made me realize, like, I talk about all these things I want to do, and now I was just like, it's time to start doing all the things that I want to do. And so, from Italy, then I was in Minneapolis to see Mumford & Sons, and
how was that?
Mary Chapin Carpenter and Brandy Clark. Mumford was great. Marcus Mumford is super, super talented. That guy ran from the stage up to the first level across, it's not the Excel Center anymore, Grand Casino, it's changed names, singing the whole time, and then ran back down, got in the mosh pit. I mean, he was just exceptional. And their beat, Mumford & Sons beat, I really thought, I sing I Will Wait in my, it's in my...
I'm going to come see you at Einhorst, by the way. Me and Nick are going to come.
Please. Yeah, yes. You guys, we would have a blast. And really, I your voices are so great, so I'm sure you have singing voices. So don't worry, I'll set up a bunch of mics.
We're ready.
Yeah, Mumford was great. Mary Chapin Carpenter, someone I've loved since, early 90s. Brandy Clark's a wonderful singer-songwriter. And then I was in Nashville sister-in-law sent me a poster when I was in Italy, and not while I was in the water. Life wasn't on my phone there.
Yeah.
She sent me this poster, and I looked at it, and I was like, because it was literally I had to fit it in right before I went to Vegas this past weekend to see Alanis Morissette. I had Alanis Morissette set, and I'll get to that, but it was an Anne Marie tribute concert at the Grand Ole Opry. Now, do you have any idea who Anne Marie is?
It rings a bell.
Okay, take your shiny wings and fly away.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that? The Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
That's all time.
How about if I had this dance for the rest of my life, would you be my partner every night? When we're together, it feels so right. Could I have this dance for the rest of my life? Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you. Well, and I actually sang that in Nashville on a stage on Sunday night. It was super cool with a great band. But, Anne Marie's a legend in Canada. Literally a legend. And she was there. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. So I went to Nashville, and, shout out to my friend Rihanna and Conway for letting me stay with them. And we had a blast of 40 hours of Conway's a professional musician. So we saw him play on Broadway, and then saw him play on Broadway on Monday, and then went to the concert and went out again and another stage. And, I feel like, it's time to start doing. So I got home Tuesday, broadcasted.
Yep.
Tuesday with
Jonas?
No, Owen.
Owen, okay.
For that one, right?
OP.
I think so. Yep. OP. Yeah, you know me.
OPP. Yeah.
And then I went to Vegas, and saw Alanis Morissette. And Alanis Morissette was exceptional. It was like a theatrical experience. She had skits in between all her songs. And, Jagged Little Pill is one of the top albums of all time. And definitely top for females. And that was the soundtrack for me in 1995. It was actually as I was transitioning from Kenora to Minot was Jagged Little Pill. So, but the theatrical stuff, like she talked about so many things, including mental well-being, right?
Really?
She talked about that in and amongst all her songs. And so she's a special artist, and she's incredibly intelligent, articulate. And so if you get a chance to see Alanis, and then she's also a fucking badass. And at the end of Uninvited, she's headbanging. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Voice is good. All the things. So, and I just have, I have Terry Clark and Paul Brandt on Sunday. And then I think Sarah McLachlan at the end of the month. And
where's the...
It's a Canadian, just fucking...
That's all right. Where's Terry Clark at?
Terry Clark's... This is so good full circle stuff, right?
Yeah.
My mom texted me, which was great. And she's like, Terry Clark's in Yorkton. You want to go? And I'm like, yes. And she as soon as she sent me the date, I'm like, I know I'm not. I'm home, so I got to go. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go see my parents and check in on them. I haven't checked in on them much since I've been in Italy on these different little, excursions.
You're on your own little tour.
Yeah. I am, and I love it. I'm a little I need to be at home a little bit more, but that'll come. Yeah. Terry Clark's gonna be in Yorkton with Paul Brandt, who is, if you look at what's your guy's name, Coulter
Ball, yeah.
Yeah, like Paul is a traditional country Canadian artist. And so they're going to be at the Anne Portneuf Theater. And why is that important? Because I used to perform piano Royal Conservatory of Music piano testing at the Anne Portneuf Theater. So I am going to be able to have some closure at that place that used to create such anxiety for me. And now I'm going to listen to... I've got better things to do.
Terry Clark's a badass.
Wash my car in the rain. Change my new guitar strings.
Yes. The band, when I think of Canada,
please,
is from Winnipeg. These eyes do 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 cry. What's the name of that band?
Is it the Guess Who?
Guess Who? Yes, Doy. Yeah.
American Woman. Yes. Stay away from me.
Every time.
What happened to them? They got mad at each other. Everyone just gets, why? Hey, I can make $1 million at a concert, but I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
So let's not play.
My buddies and I, whenever we get together and we're, having a few drinks, whatever, we always like to
watch.
Of water.
Mm-hmm.
we always like to watch YouTube concerts, and I always show them live in Winnipeg, the Guess Who. And they come out on the piano. Doom, doom, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It's like, and the people are going
I hope
nuts.
I'm right. I hope it's the Guess Who and not Bachman Turner Overdrive.
No. It's the Guess Who.
Taking care of business.
No, it's for sure. I think
it's not Crash Test Dummies.
No.
Superman never made any money.
There was his boy.
There's the low voice.
Oh, yeah,
that guy's incredible.
Yeah, he is.
I don't have him on my list to see, but if I did, it'd be just fine.
Have you seen Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah.
Whoa, how was that?
That was great. I'd like to see Stevie now, I think. What was interesting about that Anne Murray concert, and I could get emotional here, but, there were quite a few artists from, maybe they're slightly older than me, but, definitely I listened to them hardcore in high school and in my 20s. To see how some of them struggle now, that's hard to see.
Yeah.
That is really hard to see because they gave so much of their lives to music. If you don't take care of your voice,
it's going to come.
It's going to end. So I've been lucky in my musical career to have breaks. And now I'm only kind of as busy as I want to be, which is kind of, that's cool. But my voice needs that break. So, I'd like to see Stevie where she's at.
I just saw a video. It's crazy we're talking about this, but I just saw a video of Stevie Nicks. It was on Twitter or X now, whatever. But she forgot the lyrics to Landslide. Yeah. And it was cool, but the crowd
sang to her. And she's like, I screwed that up, guys. I'm glad you're paying attention. And then she finished. But yeah, like you said, it's kind of sad because Stevie Nicks is all time. And I'm sure it's... Yeah, I mean, she's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, I think, for her solo career and her Fleetwood Mac career.
She's the GOAT, yeah.
But it was great to see, Alanis is 51, and she sounded phenomenal. But she's also taken breaks, too. So, I hope I can hold out. I know I did a gig in my hometown in August. That's something cool to talk about, Dallas. And because I saw so many of my former coaches, like Mike Spillane. Like Mike Spillane was my basketball coach.
Whoa.
He's at that practice where I shoot that 3. He actually invited me to come to the senior practice, right? And was there when I came back to play in grade 9 and Smells Like Teen Spirit was on the fucking sound system. And he he was there. Ernie Kozak was there. Lots of old coaches, lots of old friends, moms were there. It was just such a special experience to have in my hometown to get up on a stage and do it. And I thought, I'm like, I don't know if I have other opportunities. My dad came up and played my whole family's music. My older brother, phenomenal. My 4-year-old niece Hazel came up and did You Are My Sunshine with me. And she was good. I was like, damn, she's usually shy. And I was like, she had the crowd going. It was great. But yeah, I don't know how many more opportunities. So I just again, that idea of being present, being focused, enjoy the moment as it's coming. I really now in your late 40s, this is a wonderful place to be for me.
I love it. Well, listen, we broke the record. So
did we? But we haven't even talked about the fucking Bombers. So we got to do that.
They're out now. Did you see this?
You need to show everyone on, do you want to talk about the bet or do you want me to?
You go ahead, but I had to break this out. I've had this since I was a little kid. Harry Jones signed that. Remember him, the quarterback?
No.
God, he was the best. You play with Milt Stegall? Look at all the dust on this. Look at the face mask.
But do they even have these colors anymore? This was a phase of colors where they fucked up. They should have. Well, you got the traditional, and you're gonna have to show the everyone.
Yes, I will. How about the stamps?
Who am I playing? I don't even know who I'm playing on Saturday. Do you know? Can you look that up for me?
Yeah.
While I tell the story about the bet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, when I first meet Dallas at that game at Minot North, he had texted me, I think, earlier and had said like I'm a CFL fan, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, really, you're American. Like, don't even give me this shit, right? Like. And then I'm like, well, if he's local, then he obviously knows Weston Dressler. And Weston had an incredible CFL career, specifically with my team, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, right? So like, green is the color, football is the game, we're all together, and winning is our aim. So cheer us on through the sun and rain. Saskatchewan Roughriders is our name. Bom, bom. Sang that at my Kenora concert. They loved it.
Oh, I bet.
So anyways, I'm like, hey, great, fine. We're at that point, we were like 8-1 and Winnipeg's 500.
Yeah.
Well, they recently played each other, and I, without researching or understanding where the standings were at, I text Dallas and I'm like, Dallas, wager on the game. Yeah. What is it? I'm go, well, loser has to buy the winner a piece of memorabilia, right?
There we go. I'm a big crew neck guy too, so this is dope.
And that's beautiful. That's their colors, right? It's good stuff. Yeah. But what I failed to research was the fact that Saskatchewan was already had a bye and had clinched the Western final.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're playing Winnipeg, who was still probably, I don't know if they were fighting to get a little higher.
No, they were fighting to get in. Yeah, they had to win.
Well, Saskatchewan's not playing their starters.
They played the B squad. And Bombers barely beat them still.
If you listen to this whole damn thing, the B squad is a cool place to be. Being on the B team is just fucking fine, but not when you're making a bet to win. So I lost. I lost by 1 point, actually.
It was close game,
17-16. You don't even know the score?
Yeah, I don't know the score.
Okay,
I was paying attention.
I think it was a kick. You hit it. You hit a 3-point kick at the end. But Saskatchewan plays on Saturday at 5:30.
BC Lions.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's right. They won. They beat Winnipeg, or who did they beat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So Winnipeg's out. Grey Cup's in Winnipeg.
Okay. Well, are we going?
If the Riders win, are we going? That would be
We
fun.
should think about it. We should take Nick.
Oh, God.
Does everyone know Nick on this podcast?
Oh, yeah. He came on.
Did he?
He came on
once
last
or twice,
year.
or how many times?
Last year, because he was, we talked about when he was kind of in a, I don't know if you would call it a battle with the North Dakota High School Activity Association, but he's trying to get rights for these playoff games, and he's having to write some big checks. So we talked about that, and it was good. It was therapeutic for him, but
I would just want to. Do you mind if I say something about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just think the North Dakota High School Athletic Association needs to look at the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have committed, homegrown, funding themselves, talent, and a business wanting to uplift local student athletes, putting restrictions, whether financial or goofy policy and procedure, seems absolutely ridiculous to me. So I kindly ask the NDHSAA, did I get that right?
Yep, nailed it.
And their board of directors to meet and look at the big picture. Period.
I agree 1,000%. I don't know any other state that does as well a job of covering high school athletics, because North Dakota's got PSP, they've got your live event, they've got game day media, they've got the local news, WDAY. I mean, there's so much. Like I was telling my buddy from Omaha, Nebraska, Omaha is a huge city.
Omaha. Peyton Manning always on. Yeah.
But he's like, dude, we don't have that in Omaha. I'm like, what? You don't have like a PSP? He's like, no, I should start something like that. I'm like, dude, yeah, but now it's like competitive here in North Dakota. And there's so much to it. And
I might not know all of the characteristics, but what I do know is that if you tie people's hands financially,
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. Figure out other ways. If you need money so bad, figure out other ways to find that money, and not in a way that's going to decrease the promotion again of student athletes and helping out. I mean, if we're talking about North Dakota, usually the term that's thrown out there, and I talked about it today, is North Dakota nice? Well, what does that involve? That involves parents, grandparents, families being able to watch and support their kids, whether they're in North Dakota or not. And so one of the greatest joys of being involved with Nick and PSP Network, besides how fun it is that, I get texts from grandparents who are out of state and they're just thrilled.
It's fun for them.
So,
yeah.
The North Dakota High School Athletic Association needs to understand that. And again, look at the big picture. Look at the big picture. What are you really trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's lowering the ability to have a mass availability of sports broadcasts.
Oh, 1,000%
within the state.
I want to sit down with Matt Fetch, who's the president, and just kind of talk to him.
Do you want me to come with?
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. But I just
Okay.
like pick his brain and see, because I'm sure there's a rhyme or reason to everything, but I'd just be interested to see like what the mindset is, and then also like all the new divisions. Like we got AAA, AA, single A,
I'm excited for
9-man.
that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things, but
We did break the record. I want to know how far.
we're at an hour 42, and I did one with a National Guard guy, and it was an hour 20. So we broke it by 20 minutes.
Awesome. And I just want to say, like, I've looked at all your episodes. Like I'd love to see you have more females.
Yes, I
if
agree.
possible.
1,000%.
Definitely, female athletes. And I mean, we are having some moments in basketball. We're having moments in hockey,
Mm-hmm.
And volleyball's getting bigger, definitely on the NCAA level. Like, and I'm lucky to have, 2 nieces in Regina that play volleyball.
Oh, really?
Love that. Love going to watch them. I have another niece, my sister's girl that's playing AAA hockey in Swift Current, left her home at the age of 15
Ooh.
to go play AAA hockey. She's got a goal. That's great to get obviously college scholarship and now the PWHL. So love for you to have more females on, and I'll find them for you
Yes,
if you need me to find
I do.
them for you.
I do.
Whether, former athletes like myself that have great stories to tell or current ones, whatever you need.
No, I'm 1,000% game. I actually had Logan Nisley on.
Yeah, I saw that.
She plays at Nebraska. She's so awesome.
Yeah, how's she doing at Nebraska?
Very good. They just had their first game 2 nights ago. She starts. They're going to be good.
She starting 5.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You should see her younger brother play. He's like very good as
Basketball as well?
Yeah, he's at Century High School now.
Okay.
But listen, Spelch, a question everybody gets asked. And
Oh,
we've
at the
talked-
end?
At the end, yeah. Swim Lessons podcast about overcoming tough times. Leave us with something that somebody can think about. It can be a story, a phrase, whatever you want, but leave us with something, the audience here, that they can make applicable to their life.
Your mental well-being is more important than anything that you will ever accomplish on any sort of floor or court or field. So you can have joy of sport and you can have positive mental well-being. You just have to make sure that mental well-being comes ahead of the wins. And so find that for yourself, and definitely all the parents and coaches out there, make sure that that's at the forefront for that athlete, so that they, whether they go on to play at higher levels of sport or not, what's most important is that they have a happy life post the involvement with them in that sport. And so, yeah, I think mental well-being, really glad that it's not just like a flash now it's a real significant focus for sports. And I hope, I really do predict that, in the next 10 years, Dallas, every sports team is going to have some sort of mental well-being or mental performance coach on their bench.
1,000%. Hit us with that website one more time.
Sure. Up Your Performance 1.com.
Okay, upyourperformance1.com. Everybody check it out. Melissa Spelchen, she's fantastic. I approve 1,000%. I'm going to tell a lot of people about you. I'm going to try to get a few clients your way. No, you're a joy. So much fun to work with you and now to hear your story. And thank you for sharing some of that stuff. I'm sure it's tough. And listen, here's to the future. Let's do this again like a year from now or something.
Yes, let's set it. Yeah, because I'm blessed to have the ability to communicate pretty darn well.
Yeah.
So I have tons of other things to talk to you about. Like, we didn't even talk really.
I know.
Hockey
I know.
And you're from the land of the Phillians over there in
Yes,
Crosby.
Rick. So. Yeah, all of them. Yes.
Like, Tommy.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I'd love to talk to you even about like how you feel today about your athleticism, like what it is right now, and then reflecting on your past.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Hell yeah. Spelch, you're the best. Appreciate you.
You're pretty damn awesome too, Dallas. Appreciate you.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank
Bye.
you.